I'm Jeff Deloach, Head of New Business Development here at Realty Solutions. Another set of questions that usually arises from potential clients is how is your rent collection process handled? And from rent collection moving into a possible eviction filing, how is that handled with an eviction attorney? Do you have an in-house legal staff? So I'm going to give you the answer to that based off of the property management side of things versus the legal side. So first, starting with rent collection. Our rent collection process usually starts with every tenant's rent is due on the 1st of the month. By midnight on the 5th of the month, rent is considered to be late. The tenant will automatically get an email notification stating that their rent is now officially late and they have been imposed a late fee on their rental ledger. From there, that's when it goes right into our rent collection department to start the collection call process, recording of notes, everything that gets a little bit more involved. So after the 5th, they already get that number one is the first notification they get via email. Usually by the 7th or 8th of the month, if we still have not seen a rental payment from there, our bookkeeping staff will call the tenant, attempt to make a collection effort, get a payment via electronic fund online through our property management system, some sort of promise to pay, some sort of communication in general as to just acknowledging that the tenant has not paid their rent, and maybe when will they be paying that rent. We have a report that our owners can find online called Event Reports. Now, this report will give a full outline of exactly what happened during our collection attempts. So if it was a phone call made by the bookkeeping department to collect rent, but we had to leave a voicemail, it will state that. If we had a phone conversation, it will state exactly what went on during that phone conversation, if we were able to collect rent or not. Was there a promise to pay? Anything along those lines usually is what you would find in the event reports. From there, if there is no communication back from the tenant, past that first collection efforts around the 7th or 8th of the month, your actual property manager will reach out to the tenant, usually around the 10th of the month. That's the second phone call now. Property manager calls the tenant, acknowledges the fact that they've already received a late notice and one collection attempt from our collection department. Now, property manager is getting involved, stating, hello, just letting you know that you've already received these two collection efforts. Where is your rent? That type of thing. Just trying to get more communication. If we still get nothing by then, usually around the 12th of the month, everything is separated by about 2 or 3 days. That's when a letter would go out, which we call a pay or quit letter. That is the last line that shoots through to the tenant, basically stating that this is your last chance to make sure that you pay your rent, you understand what is owed, and if you are going to be filed for eviction, that's the next thing that's going to happen after this letter. If there has been zero communication after the pay or quit letter by the 12th of the month, usually by the 15th, that's when an eviction filing may begin. So you as owner, you may receive a phone call or an email from your property manager asking, this is everything that has happened to date. Are you ready to file for eviction? It is ultimately your decision. So we may have notes ahead of time in our account stating that if it ever reaches the 15th of the month, please go ahead and file for eviction. If that's the case, then we may not reach out to you because you've already instructed us to do so in the past. You might receive that phone call. If we do not have those notes, it will ask you, are you ready to file for eviction? If the answer is yes, we will process that, transfer that right over to our legal department. If you do not have an eviction attorney of your own still, we have one here in-house that makes things a little bit smoother. If the answer is no, I still want to try and collect the rent because I know that a lot of times, my tenant tends to pay the rent a little bit more towards the end of the month. If that's the case, then we're just going to have the next conversation between you and us and then the tenant and us in order to make sure that we're getting back on the right track again as far as rental payments go. Thanks so much for listening. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact me directly at my information below. Thanks. Have a great day.